The Yorktown was commissioned on April 15, 1943, at Norfolk Navy Yard in Virginia, and Joseph Jocko Clark took command of the ship. Shortly after, they would begin shakedown training near Trinidad, as seen in the movie, The Fighting Lady. From an aerial view, the flight deck on the Yorktown differs from what it was during World War II. An angled flight deck was added during significant renovations to the ship after the war. The angled flight deck is what you will see on all modern aircraft carriers today, and it allows planes to take off and land while other operations are occurring on the deck. The original flight deck was made of wood, so the ship was not top-heavy and could move faster. However, the wooden flight deck made the ship more susceptible to enemy attacks. The flight deck is now made out of steel. You also see that the 5-inch twin turrets on both sides of the island are no longer there. After the initial training, Yorktown was sent to the Pacific, traveled through the Panama Canal on July 11, 1943, and arrived at Pearl Harbor on July 24th. The beginning of the movie The Fighting Lady introduces you to the crew and the ship during this period, and to Scrappy, the current mascot of the Yorktown. The crew smuggled Scrappy on board at Pearl Harbor, thinking Captain Jocko Clark would disapprove. Once Jocko found out the dog was on board, he allowed him to stay since he was easing the stress and lifting the sailors' morale. Yorktown had around 3,000 men on it, so it was similar to a small city, and you can visit many of the locations seen in the movie. Some of these areas include the hangar bay, which now holds several aircraft from the World War II era. You can visit the galley, where they would make the food for the enlisted men, which operated 24 hours a day and served 4 meals, including breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight rations. The crew's mess hall, where the enlisted men would eat after getting their food from the galley. The officers' wardrooms, where the officers would eat, including the pilots. A vegetable preparation area. The butcher shop. The bakery, where they would make bread and baked goods. Seen here is what it would take to make cookies for over 3,000 men. The bakers would get up at 2 a.m. to start cooking, and there are 18 ovens located here. The original laundry facility, which received updates after World War II. The washers, dryers, and machines here were powered by steam produced by the boiler rooms below. The sick bay and pharmacy, where they would treat everything from minor illnesses to major surgeries. A chapel. The ship always had 2 chaplains, a Protestant minister and a Catholic priest, and part of their duties included burials at sea. The dental department. The dentist here would perform dental services and help treat wounded soldiers, especially those with facial injuries. The master-at-arms office. The jail. The barber shop. The crew's berthing area. The beds for the enlisted men were spread throughout the ship to avoid mass casualties in one location. Each man got a small locker for personal storage. A place for the crew to get some soda, ice cream, and snacks. The torpedo shop. This is where the torpedoes were prepared for service, then transferred to the flight deck. This shop is original to the ship, but the torpedoes used in World War II were twice the size of the one seen here. Machine shop. The ship needed constant maintenance and repairs, so they made replacement parts and repaired damaged parts for the ship and planes here. The Combat Information Center. An elevator machinery room used to bring planes from the hangar to the flight deck. Yorktown had 3 elevators during World War II. A very intricate catapult system with 2 catapults. These catapults were not used for every takeoff, but they were helpful when space was limited on the flight deck. The island or bridge. On the island or bridge, you can visit the areas where the admiral and captain commanded tactical operations of the ship, including the captain's bridge, the navigation rooms, flag tactical plot, where the admiral or rear admiral and their staff would secretively plan actions of the Yorktown. Down at the bottom of the ship were the engine rooms, with 4 engine boilers containing 8 boilers used to turn water into steam and fuel 4 turbines, shafts, and propellers. If 3 of the 4 boiler rooms were inoperable, for example, if torpedoes hit the ship, Yorktown could still operate with just 1 engine boiler room. The men who worked down here were tough. It was dark, and the temperature down here would reach over 100 degrees, sometimes as high as 130 degrees. Seawater would be collected and turned into fresh water down here, then steam, which was used for cooking, washing, heating, and propelling the ship. The generators were also steam-powered and provided electricity to the entire ship. Yorktown had a top speed of 33 knots, which is around 38 miles per hour.